It's Brandon, bitch.
Good morning, Brand fam. As you could probably tell, I'm just waking up. I wanted to, have a food for thought today versus me trying, other food items. Today's food for thought is something that really I guess kind of strikes a nerve with me. It's following and creating your own path. So let's just get started. The reason I'm gonna, go here with this particular topic is because for those of you that are unfamiliar with my story, I was born and raised in Illinois. That's always gonna be home no matter what. But I would say about 2010, I visited Florida and I went to Fort Lauderdale for the first time, and I had been traveling quite a bit. So it was I would always, travel, but I always wanted to go back home. Got to Florida, I was like, oh man, for one, I'm a summer baby. I was born in July, so I love warm weather. I don't think the weather could get hot enough unless it was to break over 110, which usually doesn't really happen, but I love warm weather. So I got to Florida. It was always, sunny, and, they had beaches and palm trees were the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Florida one day. I'm gonna move there. So fast forward 8 years. I'm sorry. Fast forward 6 years, because I left in 2016. So fast forward 6 years, and I made that move. I knew I wanted to come down here and do entertainment, but I was I would do whatever I needed to in order to survive. So when I got down here, I knew I had to start at the bottom, because being back home, you have others that, could help you out, such as family, such as friends. You also established, some type of rapport. So you have connects, in one way or another. And when you move somewhere and you start over, you don't really necessarily have those connects anymore. So my whole thing was, I knew I would have to start at zero and just work my way up. But I was willing to do the work. So I get down here March of 2016. I get to Orlando. Like I said, I wanted to go to Florida originally, but I really wanted to go to Fort Lauderdale at first. But moving down here, it's a difference between seeing a hurricane and actually being around one. And I was dating someone 2014 that lived in Orlando, and I was like, Orlando seems more affordable because I'm going to have to start over. Fort Lauderdale, I was like, once I get established in Orlando, then I'll, probably go to Fort Lauderdale. But I think I'm just going to stay here in Orlando just because of the fact that, it's affordable living. We have all the amusement parks, Disney, Universal, Aquatica, that's the water park, Gator World. So we have a few. We're Central Florida, so we're inland, which means when the hurricanes do hit, we may get splashed with water, our lights may go out, but it's not like where you would have to go get, homeowners insurance because your doors are flying off or, your windows are blowing through. It's nothing like that. So I said Fort Lauderdale at first, but then I came to Orlando. I was like, okay, this is it. Excuse me. So that was that. So I come here in March of 2016, and all my friends and family on my social media accounts, they see oh, he's living the great life, and, he looks happier and things like that. And the thing is, I am living a great life, but, I kind of created that path and I followed through on it. Like I said, 2010, I was like, yo, I'm going to go. And I wanted to leave in 2014, but, I had some hiccups and bumps along the road. But, 2 years later, 2016, I was able to move myself, down here on my own with no help, no assistance. And then I made it work for me. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to a friend. Actually, I think it was last night or maybe it was yesterday evening. I don't remember. What was it? I think it was last night, if I'm not mistaken. And he was just like, oh, yo, man, I want to come down there to Florida, man. I'm thinking about just starting over. Okay, now see, here's where you and I differ. I'm not going to say any names because I'm not, going to do that because that's one of my partners, you know what I'm saying? Just because I do it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you, okay? Because I've seen a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go out of state. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. It sounds good on paper, but are you really willing to put in the work? Are you really willing to go back to zero and work your way back up to 100? That means starting over in everything. You got to create new, connections. You're going to have to probably work a dead-end job or a couple of them in order to get to half of where you want to be and then keep going on top of that. So my thing is I'm sitting here and he said that to me and I'm like, I don't recommend that for anybody. I've always thought outside the box. That's just me. Like, I've always thought outside the box. Like, I was never one to be like, oh, well, I'll just work this job and I'll just work here, let my life. Like, no, I knew what I wanted since I was young, but I just didn't know how to attain it. But once I got older and it started to be more in my grasp, then I'm like, okay, this is the avenues that I got to do. But I'm going to just, be honest. Like, I make a lot of things look easy. I may make it look easy. Like, oh, go out there, just move out of state. It's so easy. No. A lot of people, like I said, they move right back. And my thing is this, like, why move in the first place? Because I hate moving. When I had to pack up all that stuff and, it was a chore. I hate packing. I hate unpacking. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it was so bad. I had to make 2 trips. I moved in March, brought half of my belongings, and then went back in June, and then brought the rest of my belongings in July. So I'm just like, everybody, I make it look easy, but it's really not. Like, if you're good and you're situated, don't do it just because I do it. That's why I say create your own path. You can't do what I do. Especially like my friend, I'm not going to say no names, but you really can't do what I do because I'm not married. I don't have any children. It's just me that I got to take care of. You have your spouse. I don't know if they married, but y'all been together for a long time. So I'm going to say your wife. You got your wife and you got a kid. You can't just pack up and be like, okay, well, I want to move to Florida too. It don't work like that. And on top of that, I don't think you've ever been. So a lot of y'all talking about, oh, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. You need to go there a few times to make sure that that's what you want to do. Because when I was 23, I was naive. I went to New York. I tried to move to Brooklyn. I was there for 24 hours. I called my mama the next day like, look, Mom, I got to move back in. New York looks so great on TV. And plus a lot of my favorite rappers, because I love hip hop. A lot of my favorite rappers are from New York. And they just make it sound like so glamour and glitz, yet gritty, but a beautiful kind of gritty. I got there and I was like, man, there's too many people. I can barely walk down the sidewalk. Somebody's bumping into somebody. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So that was me at 23 doing that. But that was, that's the difference. Like, I've had people like that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s talking about, oh, I'm going to start over. You can't do that because a lot of y'all got responsibilities. I feel like this. Once you got responsibilities, you can't move the way the next man moved. Like me, I created my own path and I'm following through with that. I want to get married one day. I want to have kids one day, but I'm going to make sure that I'm good now. That's why, I'm grinding the way that I am so that once I'm good and I'm set, then I can have kids and then I ain't got to worry about that. I'm not going to want to start over because I'm already going to have damn near probably 95, maybe 99% of everything that I want. So, it just goes like that. But, I had him and then I had another friend of mine that I was talking to last year. Same thing. Was like, oh, I'm going to move to Florida. Just you watch. Now, he's not married, but he has a kid. And I'm just kind of looking like, that's your only son. And you talking about you finna move to Florida. Like, you can't move like I move. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. You created responsibilities for yourself. Now, when they grow up and they graduate and they move out of your house, then you can start over, but by then it'll be too late. My thing is like, I make things look easy, but that's because I'm fearless. You know what I'm saying? I'm an innovator. I think outside the box. I'm a risk taker. And, everybody else is like, when I hit my low points, I'm not the type that'll be like, oh my God, I need this, I need that. I'm like, when I hit my low points, like, y'all will never know because I won't put that on display. So when you see me on Facebook and it looks like I'm living life, I have my bad points too. I have my low times too where I'm just like, damn, fuck it. Do I even want to do this? But I already started. So like, my thing is like, why start a journey only to go back? Because if that was the case, if you're just going to go back to what you're used to, you should have never left in the first place. Because think of all the money that you wasted. I'm not trying to waste money. I'm trying to make money. So that's why, I moved out here. I was like, I would get me a fresh start and build my brand from the bottom up. So, to everybody that's out there talking about some, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. You can't do it just because you see somebody else do it. Like, would that really benefit you? That's what you got to think about. You got to be like, okay, am I willing to work hard and grind? Am I willing to pretty much eat shit? You know what I'm saying? Because me, like, I've never really been a cook anyway, but I'll use me as an example. You know what I'm saying? I don't really get like an appetite like that, even though the show is called I'm Hungry, Damn It. I still like to try foods, but I'm not eating those foods all the time. So, me, I could skip a meal and, won't even notice it until like the next day. I'm like, damn, I'm hungry. Then I'm like, what did I eat? Like, damn, I ain't eat nothing today or yesterday. So then, I'll get my grub on or whatever. But a lot of people ain't like that. So my thing is, you got to create your own path, brand fam. You have to do what you want to do, and it has to be a passion. You can't just do it because it looks easy, or you figure that's the easy way out, or it worked or it worked for somebody else. Because like I said, just because it works for someone else, that does not mean that it'll work for you. Like, I'm tall, I'm an African American male. I can't hoop. You know what I'm saying? I would love to go out there and be like, oh yeah, I'm dunking on LeBron, but I'm not that sort. I got to stay in my lane. My lane is, entertaining the masses, interacting, with you all, my fam. So, that's my avenue. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Find something that you love and stick with it. And a lot of people will be like, well, how do you know if you really love it? How do you really know it's a passion? You'll know because you'll be willing to do anything to make that work. So find something that you love to do. Stay in your lane and don't try to do something that is not going to work in your favor. I'm not saying don't go out there and, try, but I'm saying if you're going to do that, make sure that it's only you that you're taking care of. Because had I had kids, or if I was, if I had a wife right now, I wouldn't be able to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to pack up and move and start my brand from the ground up in Florida. I wouldn't be able to do that, but I was smart about it. You know what I'm saying? I established my dream first because I'm getting that, going. And then from there, I'll have my pick, and then I could go out and get me, a beautiful wife, and then, have kids, and then, just live the life. Because one of my stories of inspiration is Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is from New York, but his wife is from Schaumburg. I grew up around that area. I went to school. I graduated from Conant, Hoffman Estates. It was Conant, Schaumburg, Palatine, Fremd, and Hoffman. We were all District 211. I went to Conant, so I'm like, you from New York, and you found your girl, in Schaumburg. Like, I think that's beautiful, because my thing is like, I'm like, yeah, I could get somebody in Florida, or I could get somebody in Illinois, but I want to be able to be successful to the point where I could go around the world and really find somebody that's for me. Because if you find the best thing in Illinois, like let's say you're from Crystal Lake or something. You're from Crystal Lake, Illinois. You find the baddest girl, and let's say she's not even from Crystal Lake, she's from Aurora. So you in Crystal Lake and your girl is in Aurora. Oh, you got the baddest girl in Illinois, but it's somebody else that's out there. I have a strong feeling that's exactly for you, but you kind of settling. And that's another thing I didn't want to do. I didn't want to settle. So, for all y'all that got married and had kids, you know what I'm saying? It ain't about you no more. So if you having any dreams of just packing up and leaving, you can X that right now. I'm just going to let you know, because it's not going to work in your favor. It's really not. But to everybody else that kind of followed a path similar to mine, and you're trying to get yours now so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor and have a wider, selection, then kudos, to you. But, that's my little rant because, like I said, I just woke up, you know what I'm saying? And my friend hit me with that yesterday, and I was, thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? But, my shows was kind of on, so I kind of, put that, in the back burner of my mind, and it was kind of like, okay, I'll come back at that. But, that's what it is. Create your own path, find something that you love to do it, and when you're ready, you'll really grind for it. You'll really, really, really go hard. So that's all I got to say, brand fam. If you like this video and you like what I'm speaking on, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Also, drop comments down below. Tell me how you feel about, this particular subject. You can also, even though I didn't try any foods today, you could also, drop a comment, say what you want me to try. But I appreciate the love, fam. I appreciate the support, and I'm gonna see you guys next video. All right, love you all.
It's Brandon, bitch.
I'd like to welcome you all to Chicago in stereo.